Iran, while keen to disrupt USA and Israeli interests in the Middle East, is cautiously advising Hezbollah and other armed groups to show restraint against American forces. As per regional officials, the harsh war Israel is waging on Hamas in Gaza has fueled conflict between the U.S. and Iran's proxy forces on several fronts. Without a ceasefire in sight, Iran might be facing its most significant challenge yet in controlling these allied militias. Following the USA forces' strikes on Iranian-backed groups in Yemen, Syria, and Iraq this month, Iran publicly declared its military's readiness to respond to any threat. However, behind closed doors, senior leaders are advocating for caution. According to Lebanese and Iraqi officials privy to the discussions, USA officials suggest that Iran's message might be having an impact, as since Saturday, there had been no attacks on U.S. forces by Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria for over 15 days. A notable pause since the Gaza war started in October. The militants refrained from retaliating, even after a USA drone strike in Baghdad took out a Kataib Hezbollah commander. Iran has unveiled its latest weaponry amidst escalating tensions in the Middle East. Reza Pahlavi suggests a direct correlation between the USA's tough stance and Iran's aggression. General Jack Keane emphasizes the need for America to ensure Iran is back on their heels economically. Iran may have understood that their interests are not served by giving their proxies free rein to attack USA and coalition forces, said an American official, speaking anonymously due to the sensitivity of the matter. The Biden administration has adopted a similarly cautious approach with Iran in retaliation for a drone strike last month that killed 3 USA service members in Jordan. U.S. forces launched several strikes on February 2nd, targeting Iranian proxies in Iraq and Syria, but avoiding strikes inside Iran. To underscore the new directive, Iran has sent military leaders and diplomats throughout the region to meet with officials and militia members. Iran is doing everything it can to prevent the war from expanding and the escalation from reaching a point of no return, said an Iraqi official closely connected to Iranian-backed forces. Shortly after Kataib Hezbollah took responsibility for the attack that killed 3 USA Army reservists, an Iranian military commander arrived in Baghdad to meet with the group's leaders. The commander pressured the group to issue a statement, suspending attacks on American targets. The leaders were displeased with the suspension, according to the Iraqi official, but complied with the request of the country that has trained and armed their forces. However, the exchange might also have shown the limits of Tehran's influence. After the USA strikes, the group reversed its stance, vowing painful strikes and broad attacks. Iran has been walking a tightrope since October 7, when Hamas's unexpected attack on Israeli communities near Gaza sparked the war there. The Iranian-backed groups, known as the Axis of Resistance, form a loose coalition of armed militias that includes Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and Kataib Hezbollah in Iraq and Syria. Iran uses them to extend its influence across the region and act as a first line of defense against the United States and Israel. While Iran funds and trains certain groups, these entities operate independently and outside of Tehran's official security structure. This setup allows them to further Iranian policy objectives while shielding Tehran from direct accountability and potential retaliation for their actions. During a recent trip to Lebanon, Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian commended these groups and pledged ongoing support. He informed journalists in Beirut that Israel is attempting to embroil the United States in Middle Eastern warfare. However, behind closed doors, Iranian representatives have taken a more balanced approach. They have acknowledged Hezbollah's sacrifices but warned that a conflict with Israel could jeopardize valuable regional advancements. This month, Iranian officials met with Hezbollah members in Lebanon. A Hezbollah member relayed Tehran's message they are not interested in providing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with any justification to initiate a broader war in Lebanon or elsewhere. The Iranian officials informed the Hezbollah leaders that the resistance axis is prevailing. The Gaza war has redirected global attention to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and hindered Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states' plans to establish normal relations with Israel. However, they cautioned that these achievements could be undone if Israel opens another front in Lebanon. The Hezbollah member relayed the message Netanyahu is currently cornered. Don't provide him with an escape route. Avoid giving him the advantage of initiating a broader war, as this would make him victorious. In Iraq, the message was slightly altered. The Iranian officials stated that a resurgence of conflict in Iraq could disrupt the progress of discussions on a USA military withdrawal from the country. According to an Iraqi official, Iran has long aimed to expel USA forces from the region and would consider their withdrawal from Iraq a significant triumph. USA officials have shown willingness to withdraw some forces from Iraq, but have privately noted that the Iraqi government seems apprehensive about a complete withdrawal and appears to desire continued assistance in combating the remnants of the Islamic State. The Iranian strategy seems to have been successful, despite almost daily lethal attacks across Israel's border with Lebanon. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, has refrained from declaring war. Iranian-supported militias in Iraq and Syria have abstained from initiating attacks since February 4th, even after the USA strike on February 7th that resulted in the death of Kataib Hezbollah official Abu Bakr al-Saidi. On Thursday, Pentagon spokesperson Major General Patrick Ryder stated that USA forces retain the right to self-defense if threatened or attacked. When asked if the militia attacks had ceased, he declined to speculate. One group backed by Iran, the Houthis in Yemen, has shown no signs of backing down. They have disrupted global trade by targeting commercial shipping through the Red Sea, a crucial conduit between Asia, Europe, and the Americas, in protest of the Israeli campaign in Gaza. According to USA defense officials, they have launched at least 48 attacks since November, including missile strikes, attack drones, and unmanned boats laden with explosives. These attacks have led shipping companies to avoid the area, resulting in increased time and costs. Houthis fired 2 missiles into the Bab al-Mandeb Strait and an anti-ship ballistic missile into the Gulf of Aden on Tuesday. On Thursday, an anti-ship ballistic missile launched from Houthi territory hit the cargo ship meter per volt like Avidos, causing minor damage, according to USA military officials. USA forces have consistently targeted Houthi positions. Defense officials have characterized these as acts of self-defense against weapons that were prepared for launch. Kenneth Frank McKenzie, retired Marine Corps general who was in charge of U.S. operations across the Middle East as the head of U.S. Central Command from 2019 to 2022, expressed relief at the apparent cessation of attacks. Even if Tehran has instructed its proxies to cease activities, he noted that it doesn't imply they have control over everyone. He added that there will always be someone who doesn't receive the message. As the conflict in Gaza prolongs, it could become increasingly challenging for Iran and the United States to prevent escalation.